Welcome to Lesson 9 in Unit 1, Introduction to Plants and Animals. In this lesson, students will work to answer the question, how can we make a model and use it to compare the basic needs of pets and wild animals? Students figure out that pets have the same general needs as wild animals, but get these needs met in very different ways. This lesson includes the culminating design challenge for Unit 1. How can we make a model and use it to compare the basic needs of pets and wild animals? In the Engage portion of the lesson, discuss with students where animals can live. Do they all live in the wild? Compare and contrast the needs of a pet dog and a wolf. In the Explore portion of the lesson, students will work in small groups using the animal cards from Lessons 5 and 6. With a few of the cards, ask each group to discuss the basic survival needs of the animals. They can refer to the charts created earlier in the unit if needed to support their discussion. Finally, ask students about where the animals on their cards can live. Which ones live in the wild? Which ones could live in your house? Which ones could live in a zoo? What do each of these animals need to survive? In the Explain portion of the lesson, read the book, What Do Pets Need? Aloud to students. By the end of the read aloud, students should have an understanding that pets need food, water, and appropriate shelter. A read-aloud guide shown here is available in the teacher pages. After the read-aloud, explain to students that a zoologist is a scientist who studies animals. Show the video Zoologist, and then ask them about what pets and wild animals need to survive. Compare and contrast how pets, wild animals, and zoo animals get what they need. Finally, use animal cams from the San Diego Zoo to observe and discuss how animals survive and have their needs met in the zoo. In the Elaborate portion of the lesson, use the wild animal and pet comparison sheet found in the student journal and these tiles found in the teacher pages to compare and contrast a lion and a cat. In the Evaluate portion of the lesson, students will create an animal needs report as a model comparing the basic needs of pets and wild animals. Start by asking students to tell their favorite types of zoo animals as you create a list of their responses. Then direct students to choose one animal from the list and complete the animal needs report shown here. If students would benefit from seeing a sample report, model creating one for the class. Students could also use books or digital resources to conduct research on their animals. Encourage them to use the Animal Needs Report rubric in their student journal to self-assess their work. After students create their Animal Needs Report, have them use this model to compare the needs of the zoo animal they wrote about to the needs of pets and wild animals they learned about earlier in the lesson. Finally, revisit the phenomena of the deer eating in the forest. What have we figured out that helps us understand what the deer is doing? How does the deer's actions compare to those of a gazelle in the zoo or a pet rabbit in our house? What is the same about these animals? What is different? By the end of this lesson, students will make a model to compare needs and habitats of pets and wild animals in the form of an animal needs report. As they complete this design challenge, students will show what they have learned about the basic needs of living things and how living things interact with their environment.